Chief Petty Officer, Second Class Rob Tibbetts, Coxswain, HMCS Corner Brook, and welcome to HMCS Corner Brook. It's one of our 4 Victoria-class submarines out here in Esquimalt, British Columbia, and we're just working our way through our reactivation here at Victoria Shipyard Limited, and we're just working towards our camber dive and getting ready to put the submarine back into the Canadian Navy's hands. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi. I am Sailor First Class Monique Lutek, and I'm a steward on HMCS Corner Brook.
Hey Monique, thank you so much for joining me on Go Bold. It's great to be here on HMCS Corner Brook with you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your family history. Where were you born? Where's your family from? And
Right. Yeah, I was born in Alliston, Ontario. I was a military brat, so my dad was in the infantry since he was 17 and changed to MP eventually, and it brought us to BC, and we came over here. My mom is Thai, so I'm half Thai, and my dad is Ukrainian descent, so I'm half Thai, half Ukrainian, and
awesome.
Yeah, and so I've been in Victoria since I was 8, and this is home. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Monique, what made you consider a career in the military? Obviously your dad was in the military.
Yeah, so my dad was in the military, my aunt, my uncle, so I came from a very military background family, so I kind of had an idea about what it was like, and I saw the kind of things they were up to, and I just, after high school, I didn't really want to go to post-secondary, so I thought, where else can I get a career that will give me a pension and give me all the benefits that I wanted, and I thought about the military.
Nice,
so,
nice. Yeah. Awesome. And so once you joined the military, you picked the Navy. Why specifically the Navy?
So my brother's in the Navy, and so he was always traveling and seeing cool ports and everything like that, so I just thought, I love the water, I love the ocean, and the 2 naval ports we have in Canada are Halifax and Victoria.
Right.
So I had a 50-50 shot of being close to home, so I thought, yeah, why not? I'll go Navy.
Well strategized.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. And so now that you joined the Navy, you are now a member of HMCS Corner Brook, which is one of the 4 Victoria-class submarines that the Royal Canadian Navy has. What made you pick the submarine kind of trade?
So I originally came over to the sub cell to cook in the galley because I was doing a package, and when I came over to the subs, everyone was just so nice, and it was just such a community that really pulled me in, and I just thought, you know what, I'll do a tour of the sub. I'll check it out and see what it's like and decide from there. And I came down and I did a tour. I laid in a rack and I stood in the galley and I said, okay, I can do this. Awesome. Sure, why not?
Awesome. So this is your work environment. This is your office.
This is my office. This is where, so I cook breakfast in the mornings for the guys. So I do everything. So under here we've got some elements, we've got some ovens, warmers. Over here we have a steam line we're set up for shore right now, so we've got all these things. But yeah, this is the space you work in, and this is what you've got.
So when you're at sea, do you not have like a microwave like?
You do have a microwave, so we usually do have a microwave. We don't. Everything's made fresh, so we don't really use it. I mean, if the guys eat late, they can come and warm up a meal if they want.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and here this is the on switches. We've got two levels essentially for the ovens. On. Yeah, on and off.
On and off.
That was it. On and off. So you're kind of just going with the heat. It's a challenge. You've got to rotate the food, the heat. There's no fan. So these are quite old ovens. There's things. So you just got to work with what you've got and try to give the guys the best quality food you can do.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, what is that like on board a submarine? Because I've heard stories where, submariners, you're submerged underwater. You don't really have replenishment. So it's pretty much what you take aboard and So submariners kind of like really look forward to a meal.
Yeah.
and nice meals, I
For
think.
sure. Yeah, we try to feed the guys really well. I mean, because food is morale.
Right.
I mean, we don't have sunshine and we don't have things, so at least the things you can look forward to are the food that we give you.
Right.
Right. So we do really try our best with what we've got, because there's only so much space in the freezer and the fridge for what you can take, and fresh food goes bad, and so you just gotta work around things. You gotta really work on your toes. You know, be creative.
Yeah.
Try to do what you can.
Yeah. So what is your routine like? Like in the obviously you have to be up before everybody else is.
So I'm awake at about 11 o'clock at night. I cook breakfast until about 3 a.m. Breakfast is from 3 a.m. till 4. I clean up, go to bed, and then I'm up for every other meal. So during my off times where I'm not cooking breakfast, I am awake. There's the wardroom, which is, it caters to the officers. And I take their food orders, I wash their dishes, I set them up for their meals. So I am up every meal to help with service and everything like that.
Wow. So I don't know if most people appreciate the fact that there are women serving on board submarines, right?
There's not many.
Really. So how, like, I mean, you are a member of the crew. I don't think anybody distinguishes you from anybody else, but what's it like in terms of just living on board a ship, in this case, a submarine, and being a woman aboard? Like, I don't know if there's a difference.
I'm used to, in the CAF, there's not a lot of women in general, but definitely on submarines you do notice, like, sometimes I am the only female on board for the sail.
Wow.
It can be a thing. But, you know, I just think of it, everyone thinks of me as like their sibling. So I don't ever feel like weird about, and you have to be comfortable with the space you have. So, you know, I sleep in the racks where the guys sleep, because there is no private female quarters. We don't have the space.
Right.
So, you know, you just kind of do what you can, and all the guys respect my space and what I've got, the amount of space you have,
Right.
and, you know, and you all share a bathroom. I think of it as having like 58 brothers on board and me.
Awesome. Well, that's good. You got a lot of people looking out for you then.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So, I have to ask you, when cooking on board, what do you enjoy cooking, and what do people look forward to on board the ship or on board the sub?
I like smoothie days. So the CO, he loves smoothies. We do them every 3 days. So I'll pump out different types of smoothies on those days. But the guys love bacon buddies. So
Bacon buddies?
Bacon buddies.
Okay.
So it's essentially an English muffin, buttered on both sides, an egg, 2 pieces of bacon, cheese, and they just love them. You just throw them together, put them in the warmer, and the guys will just come through. Hey, can I have a bacon buddy? Yep. And you just toss them out like they're candy. They love them. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's their favorite.
Awesome. Well, that sounds good to me too. So, in terms of meals, how many are you cooking a day then? And you mentioned how many people are aboard, so 50 some odd.
Yep,
Right?
so there's 3 meals a day,
Yep.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then there's snack times in between, and then I also do a morning muffin run before I serve breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I make the muffins, and then I go around the boat, and because, you know, these people can't leave their respective spaces, the control room is stuck there,
Right.
the motor room is stuck in there,
Right.
so I'll go back and with some earmuffs and be like, hey, you want some muffins?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I also run the ship store.
Okay.
So the canteen, so if you need chocolate bars, cigarettes, things like that,
Yeah.
I am the one who runs that as well. So.
Okay. Interesting. Wow, that's super cool. And are you the only person aboard that is preparing meals, or do you have any?
No. So we have 2 cooks and 1 steward for
Okay.
every submarine.
Okay.
And it's like the billets. Yeah.
Okay, because it would have been a heck of a big job for one person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's a lot. Well, it's just meals are constantly pumped out every 8 hours, right?
Right.
So it is definitely can be a lot. The cooks, they have long hours, I have long hours, so it just takes off that little bit for everyone.
And how do you find, like, living on board a submarine? Like in this galley, I'll just back out a little bit. It's quite tight.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got.
So if you fit 3 people in here, that's pretty much the max. That's the amount of people, and you're shuffling past people.
Right.
Yeah. You just get used to shuffling past people and just saying, hey, excuse me, pardon me, and you just go by because that's what you have to do. You get really comfortable.
So now that you've been on board a submarine, are you kind of like a submarine convert where you like this better than a surface ship, or do you have a preference?
I haven't really sailed surface.
Okay.
I was in the shore office before I came submarines.
Okay.
I have toured them. I've seen, to me it looks luxury because you have huge lockers, and you'll see in the bunk space later that our lockers are much smaller, and people will still say like, oh, I have no space. And I'm like, no space?
Right.
What are you talking about? And you have a bathroom cubby. I can't leave things in a cubby.
Right.
So I will take the camaraderie of submarines and the comforts of having kind of like a family dynamic and things.
Yep.
And I will eventually go back up to the surface. I rank out of submarines at P1.
Okay.
P1. And so, yeah, it's not forever. I will go back up there and sail surface. But
Sure.
I just want to enjoy my time down here as much as I can.
Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. Well, thank you for showing us a little bit about your space and what you do. I think this is awesome. And now I think you're going to give us a tour. So we are on the second level.
Yes.
So we're two deck. So you're now going to do us a favor and tour us around two deck.
For sure.
That's awesome. Great. I'll let you lead.
Alright, so over here we have the gyro space. I can't really show you too much because it's very busy. We've got the AMS, auxiliary machinery space as well.
Okay.
So we got battery switchboards. We have the officers' sleeping cabins over here.
Okay. And how many in this compartment?
There's 6 racks.
There's 6, so 6 officers.
6 officers can sleep in here.
In here,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
And then in here we have the junior ranks mess.
So this is the junior ranks mess.
Yeah. So here we've got the food window straight to the galley.
Where we were.
Yeah, where I work, and then this is where everyone eats and hangs out. This is usually more set up, like we have TVs and it's more comfortable. But right now we're still in a work period. But for the most part, yeah, this is where you can hang out with your friends and watch movies and make a bag of popcorn, and this is where you do your downtime kind of thing.
So when you do have downtime, you come in here and you socialize and what have you, but it's not like you have cable.
No. So we usually have movies and things available that we just have on a server. And yeah, you can watch things there. You bring your own things, music, books, whatever you can. You gotta pack accordingly, knowing that you don't have anywhere to go buy anything.
Right. So you have to be smart in what you buy and what you bring.
Yes.
Right.
I have a list in my phone that this is what you need. This is how many t-shirts. This is how many pairs of socks, underwear, because there's nowhere else. There's no washing machine.
There's no washing machine?
No.
Wow.
This is what you've got.
No kidding.
No washing machine.
So how does that work? So like, I mean, you're in your uniform all the time.
Yeah.
And so is that just something...
You can bring a few pairs of
Okay,
uniform
yeah,
if you
yeah,
want,
yeah.
and just hope that like they don't get dirty.
Right.
Because if they do,
That's it. You're out of luck.
that's out of luck. You could try to hose them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's news. And I guess you can bring a lot of technology is kind of cool now, where you can have like an iPad or whatever, and you can put all the movies or whatever else you want on there. But because you mentioned there's a server aboard, but you can also, I guess,
You can download. Netflix has options to download movies now. If you planned accordingly and downloaded some things before.
Right. Yeah.
Or any kind of streaming service, or you just download some shows. Or, I mean, if you're old school, you could have a laptop with a disk drive.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but then that space too, right?
See, in that space, so you have to really, how many movies are you going to bring?
Right,
So
right.
you're trying to pack as lightly. A lot of people have Kindles. because then there's not multiple books.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things. You got to be really smart and strategic with how you pack your bags.
And so, what do you think is like the secret to submarine life? Because it's different than being on a surface ship, and you're kind of solitary from the rest of the world. So how do you find that? Because you're away from your family, you know, friends. It's not like you can pick up a phone.
No, I'd like to think of it as kind of like off-grid camping. So a lot of baby wipes and just going through things, and you know what it's going to be like before you go sub. So you know that there's no cell reception, and you know there's no Wi-Fi. So you prepare your loved ones as much as you can for, I'm not going to be in contact for this long, and I'll see you when I see ya. And that's kind of just how it goes. I mean, if something tragic were to happen, they can try to reach out. There are avenues you can go to get a message down to the submarine.
Sure.
But, you know, hopefully nothing bad goes, and, you know, you pop up and you say, hey, and it's like a surprise.
Yeah. I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back. Hello.
Yeah. That is super cool. Wow. It takes a special type of person. Do you find that, how have you changed as a person from doing this? Because it's one thing going into the submarine force with an idea of what it's like. It's another thing having been there, done that, and do you find that it's kind of changed you as a person in any way?
I don't believe it's changed me as a person. Maybe made me more resilient. You just gotta go with the flow, and you wear many different hats, and you just, you know what responsibilities are here and the teamwork that you have to build. So you just work with the team, and you know everyone's gonna make it out, and it's gonna be okay. So if anything, it's made me a better person, because I am better because of my colleagues. They make me better every day.
Right on. That's a great attitude. Love it. Let's carry on with with more of the tour of Two Deck.
All right, over here we've got the senior ranks mast and 35 bulkhead. I'll take you through here.
Cool.
And so we've got one of the washrooms over here. You can come take a look. It's all kind of out of bounds, but you can take a little peek in there.
Okay. So this is one of
our
one of the
heads out of,
one of the heads.
Yeah, 1 out of 3.
There's three on
There's
board.
3 on board.
On the whole
Yes.
submarine.
Yes.
So there's just
So it's
3
one,
washrooms.
and then as you can see over here, that's the shower. So you shower all in the same spot.
Wow.
And the toilets are non-flushable. So we have a hose
Okay.
that you have to make a flush.
Oh. Interesting. And this is a little basin that folds down,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Holy smokes.
The sonar cab space, you can't go in there, but
Sure.
alright. And then there's some more heads over here, so 2 more toilets and some wash places and a standalone shower.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So very intimate quarters.
Yes, absolutely. And this is one of the fridges that we have. Sorry, fridge and freezer is all in here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's,
How much food do you bring on board when you?
we try to bring enough for about just over a month is usually what we try to bring.
Okay.
We try to fit as much as we can.
Sure.
We want it to be full.
And so obviously you're using the fresh food first, and then you switch over to frozen and canned, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, we'll use all the fresh because it's going to go bad the quickest.
Right.
And then we'll move to frozen veg, things like that. And then if it really gets bad, we have the dry stores, which is in the galley as well. There's a closet there, and there's canned things that you can pull out if it really is needed.
Okay, interesting.
Now we are in the junior ranks bunk space.
Okay.
So this is where the junior ranks, I mean, we're spread around, but this is mainly where the junior ranks are stationed to sleep.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the racks, 3 in a row. This is your space, essentially. This is your private space.
So basically on board a submarine, There isn't much private space, but this is it.
This is yours.
If this is, yeah.
If there's anywhere that is your space, this is your space.
So there's I'm familiar with the term hot bunking. Do you guys have to hot bunk here?
We don't.
No.
Hot bunk,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
So if I come onto the submarine and I take a rack, that is my rack for the sail.
Okay.
If for some reason I need to be relieved off the sail, then the next person will take my rack and that will be theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have 3 little lockers that you stuff your things into.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they're like deep.
Okay.
So yeah, you just try to put as much as you can in there, and pretty much.
So those are your 3 lockers. That's where you keep whatever. Now, do you keep
your clothes and everything?
Everything.
Everything.
So
there's your space.
There's no space underneath the bunk.
So there's one under the very bottom bunk. There's some lockers down here.
Okay.
But you would only put things in there that you wouldn't need at all during the sail, because you have to keep in mind that the lights would never be on in here.
Okay.
Everyone works at different hours.
Right.
So when you come in here, it's quiet. You have to be quiet. So if you're going into your locker, when you're getting ready to sail, you must set it up as smart as you can to that you're not digging around and clinking in the middle of a sail, because everyone's sleeping. You don't want to wake your colleagues up just because you're awake.
Right.
Not everyone else is awake.
That's really, I never would have thought that, but obviously it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right?
so I have to strategically most of my clothes I put into Ziploc bags. So I'll have a pair of socks, a t-shirt, underwear, and I put a fabric sheet and tie it that.
Yep.
And I'll put it into one of the lockers, and if I need some, I go and grab it. And then I'll put like whatever I need. One of the lockers is more leveled, it's flat, so I'll put like my iPad or like things that I would want regularly in that locker. Yeah.
Wow. It makes sense, but you have to be very strategic.
Oh, very strategic. Yeah, for sure. I have most of my things, like my toiletry bag has like a carabiner on it, so I can clip it. So when I get up, I just unclip it and go. Cool. Like, you got to be very smart about what you do.
So that leads me to ask you a question. Before you came on board the submarines, did you ask anybody about what life is like, or did you ask anybody hey, do you have any tips or pointers or whatever?
Yeah, I did ask the guys, kind of like, hey, what is it like to be on board? And they told me how it was. They said baby wipes, and you can shower as a food service worker. I can shower every day.
Okay.
So I will shower, as it's expected of you to be cleanly for you are serving the crew.
For sure.
But there are water restrictions sometimes, and there are things. So baby wipes are what you've got some days, and
right.
you work with it.
Right.
And when I came down, I laid in a rack, and I just saw, okay, like I could definitely do this. I can fit.
Mm-hmm.
And the space wasn't too much of a concern for me, because what could I need? Sometimes people pack way too much when they go on holiday. So you just learn how to pack less and less each time.
Right.
What smart way can you
declutter? Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's super cool. And perhaps it's a good lesson for life in general,
Oh, it's taught me a lot about like going on vacation. Do you really need that? Do you need that? No. Okay.
Save you on the extra baggage fees.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's super cool. And so in this particular bunk area, like you said, it would typically be dark. Mm-hmm. But how many people would be in this particular space?
3, 6, 9, 12,
15, 18.
Yeah, about 19 people just in this space, because it goes all the way aft.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, forward.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then there's more as we go. You can take a little peek on. Yeah.
Very tight.
Very tight. Yeah, definitely. You have a curtain, so usually when we're at sea, there's a curtain across, so that you have some privacy. You know, that's yours. You can watch a show in your rack if that's what you want to do, or do your thing.
But I guess if you also don't want to wake anybody else, you have to always, are you always listening with headphones or?
Yeah. So you usually have headphones in and things, and then also no alarm clocks. So we have a 35 bulkhead watchkeeper who you write down your shakes.
Okay.
So what time you would like to be shaken awake, and they come through and they come to your rack, because we have a map of where everyone sleeps. We label where everyone's rack is.
Okay.
And so say I need to be woken up, they come in and they just give me a little shake and say, hey, it's time to go cook breakfast. And I go, okay, and go do my thing.
Help and go do your thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you like most about being aboard, and what do you like least?
The most, I like hanging out with all like my friends, kind of thing. It's fun sometimes after dinner. You know, I don't get a ton of sleep over at sea, but I will stay up to have a movie night with the guys and just have a good time and just, you know, enjoy each other's company. Because when we're alongside, I don't always get to hang out with everyone because I'm working in the galley and I'm busy. But when we're at sea, you know, I try to hang out as much as I can, and it's just a good time, because as you want to make the best of the sail, because it's not always fun and it's not always sunshine and rainbows, but if you can try to just bring other people up as well, then, you know, it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, my least favorite for sure is the heads.
Yeah.
It's the toilets.
Yeah,
I miss whenever we come alongside, the moment I get to a flushable toilet. That's so nice.
Luxury.
Luxury. Oh yeah, you're like, wow, look at this toilet. I just hit the switch and it just instead of taking a hose and doing my thing.
Wow. Well, yeah, I guess it's just that's what you got to do if you're on a sub, right?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
it's just I like camping.
Right.
I think of it as like camping.
Right. Yeah, camping for work.
Yeah, camping for work. I love camping.
Well, there you go. Well, you get to do it for work and get paid for it. That's not bad. Awesome. Yeah, let's continue on forward.
This is essentially more racks.
Okay.
You guys can come forward? Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. So more racks. We'll put more of like the senior rank members over here.
Okay.
And then we got the
And
ATP space.
Well, I was just going to say, the racks are all the same, right? It's
Oh
not
yeah,
like-
they're all the same.
Yeah,
So there no rank gets better because it's
Right.
just not.
it's not
That's
feasible.
why, it's not feasible.
Yeah.
So the kind of the rank structure, like you respect, of course, like your seniors and your officers and stuff. But when it comes to rack spaces and everything, you know, we're all stuck in the same kind of pod. So
Right.
yours isn't better than anyone else's, really.
Right. And is this pretty much the extent of this deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
this is it.
Cool. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Monique.
of course. All right.
Ben, it's great to be here with you. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me on Go Bold. So tell me a little bit about your family history, where you're from, and what made you interested in joining the military.
I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Born and raised there for 18 years and joined the military because it looked like a challenge when I was a kid. And it was good, solid, steady employment for a kid that's used to being on the kind of shittier end of the tracks.
Sure.
And it's a great place where lots of challenges. You get to move a lot and you get some new experiences.
Yeah, right on. And so you decided to pick the Navy as opposed to the Army and Air Force. What was some of the thought process in that?
I was actually in the Army for 11 years.
Oh, were you?
Before coming over to the Navy.
Interesting.
I worked in 2B Sly as an infantry captain.
Okay.
And then worked at the infantry school in Gagetown
Okay.
for 3 years before joining the Navy. And I came over to the Navy because it was learning something new and working in a new organization, new skills, a completely different realm of understanding.
Yeah.
And it is a very hyper-focused place on getting things right and lots of learning.
So now that you've served in both the Army and the Navy, clearly you're in the Navy, so but I'm going to ask anyways. What are the pros and cons to both?
When the Army's doing Army things, it's fantastic. But when there's no war going on and there's just overseas training missions, it's not the morale and war fighting that I joined the Army for.
Sure.
So that is what the Army is supposed to do and not doing currently.
Sure.
And the Navy attracted me because it is a new skill set, a different type of leadership, and it was a distinct change You get 3 hot meals a day, you get a bed. Most of the time you have some level of connectivity, and it's just a completely different type of people you work with as well.
Yeah, right on. So once you joined the Navy, you could pick, or this. It's not like the submarine service is chosen for you. You have to apply, right?
Correct.
So what attracted you to this field, or this specialty, I guess?
I worked with a few submariners that were bridge watchkeepers as I was going through training
Okay.
at Venture. Meeting them, talking with them, and seeing their level of competency compared to their peers was very inspiring, and they have a different way of dealing with problems that I didn't see on the surface. Or sorry, those that were surface bridge watchkeepers. And the bridge watchkeeper, I asked him where he worked, what he was doing, and he said I should come down to subs and take a look. And
Nice.
I haven't regretted it.
Ah, good. So what will be your specific function once you get fully up to speed on subs?
I will be a submarine naval warfare officer, either in the sonics or the navigator position initially,
Okay.
and that is navigating the submarine, all the bottom contouring and planning to get us from A to B, as well as pilotage waters. Or I'll be sonics, which is previously referred to as the torpedo officer, and I deal with the sonar suites we have and tying those into our weapon system.
Awesome. So if you were to give some advice to people that are interested in the Navy or submarines, what would you share with them? What are some of the pros and cons, and just this vocation?
I think the pros are the cons for a lot of people. Things that people would not want to normally do is what people around here look to do, and that is working hard, learning new things all the time, good enough never being good enough, and always having to expand your envelope of understanding to make sure that you can do the next job better and assist your peers in doing their jobs better.
So you're attached to HMCS Victoria, but you're going to switch over to HMCS Corner Brook. Is there any difference in, I guess one sub is pretty much identical to the other, or?
There's just a few valves that are in different places.
Okay.
That'll have to learn better on Corner Brook.
Okay.
But for us, the major improvement with Corner Brook is our sonar suites and sensors, and our capability to fight with the submarine in the future should be greatly increased.
Right on. Nice. Yeah, because this submarine, HMCS Corner Brook, is the most up-to-date submarine in the fleet.
It is, yes.
Which is awesome. So I'm sure it'll be quite exciting to put her out to sea and put it through its paces.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, right on. Awesome. Ben, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Awesome.